So over here at the trailer, this is an 18-foot deck. It's got a beaver tail, about 4 foot. I love this trailer. And what this is it had stickers on it that was real pretty. It was an NHRA NASCAR, whatever you want to call it, NHRA car hauler. They said it's designed for Corvettes. And the reason is they sit a little lower and you couldn't open a door. So these fenders, come up here and I'll show you, have a, they used to have, I should say, in the back, a bungee snap. You snapped it off like a buckle, and up front here, which is unhooked right now, it slides onto this bar. And so all you had to do was take this fender, tip it up, and pull on it, and you could set it down, and that would give you another 4 inches or so of space. And if you open the door, you're touching the tire versus banging a fender. Well, I've had this for a number of years, and this is a 2003. Over here, you used to have a spare tire hook. The frame is about I think a 5-inch. It's pretty rugged. Recently, you saw in the video that we basically restored it. We knocked the rust off. We did a couple welds underneath it. I had done some slipper springs. I think I had a cracked one. I think we did brakes on it. We took the tires off from the enclosed trailer, bought new tires for the enclosed, and put the rims and tires right on here. And they're not in great shape, as you can see. We got weather check, and the reason is the sunshine. So these will probably have to get replaced pretty soon. The other side is good. This side, this one's a little better than that one, so I put the worst one up front. But that's not what we're doing here. What we did is we put all them packs of cant skids on there, and my brother pushed them forward with a big lift, and of course we couldn't reach it because it's so far. And you can come in the front and set some here, and I think he did, and I think he set some here, but he couldn't do anything here, obviously. And so what he did is he slid them forward. When it did, one of the packs turned. I think one of them blocks were sticking out, and it hit the fender. It snapped that. And so let's repair this because I need to use it. We went down the road. It broke this too, but we went down the road, and this is what it does. And I'm worried I'm going to lose the fender. So what I want to do is I've already taken the bolts out. And like I said, this fender just pivots right up out of the hooks. And so what I want to do here is fix this. And this already had some damage on it. You see the rust? We had done a repair. It was smaller than that. I just used a washer and a bolt through the side. See these hooks? These hooks are nice because the fender just sits in between it. And then, I don't know, I think it's a great design, but that cracked the whole fender all the way up through here. But what I need to do is fix this because the rear is the attachment point. The front is fine. And so I got some sheet metal, and this was used on an old fireplace. It's got a nice 6-inch flue pipe cut out of it, but this should work perfect if I just set it up here like this, line it up where I like it, and if I want more strength I could probably move it down like that and then cut here and then round this edge, and I can drill and pop rivet it. I could use screws, something to reinforce it. And this is heavy. It's at least 26 gauge, and it's galvanized, and so this is going to last a long time. This is not galvanized, and this whole piece needs to be replaced, and this fender really ought to be replaced. If you price these 70-inch long fenders, I don't remember if it's 66 or 70, we're talking $300-400 bucks. I don't want to spend that. It's not necessary. So let's do a repair. It's going to cost me about, I don't know, $1.50 worth of rivets. So, and then we got some open spray paint. We can clean it up. Let's get started. Well, because this is cracked down here, it was rusted, but now it's cracked. I think I should run this piece all the way down because I have it. And I got a few other sheets of this, but I kind of want to use up the old stuff. So if I run it down to the bottom and pop rivet it, now I'm going to end up with a little seam here, which in a couple of years will probably rust, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to slide this down to that intersection, and it's one full piece, and then I'll move this down, I don't know, to create the least amount of waste and then I'll draw a line on it. All right, what we got is Dawson reached under there and marked it. So here we got our curve for our top, this little lip on there, that's going to give it a lot of strength, and over. And I think I'm going to go here because I want to keep this circle. I got to remember for a flue cover or something I want to use it for. I think it went on the old stove I had. I don't want to get rid of it. So we don't need to go that far. I'm going to get the tool. We're going to use one of these Ryobi. This is a 18 gauge, but it'll cut something bigger. It's a P591. I bought this to do a little metal roofing, and I love it. Watch this baby cut. I'm going to try to stay on the line. See what happens. Pretty thick metal. It is doing it. See if I can curve it now. Now a lot of times, see, I can't move this way, so I might have to stop, come out and come in the other way. But you see how nice that cut? Let me swing this around. And see, now I can swing away. So maybe I should have started this side, but hopefully I can intersect that. It's variable speed, so I go slow. Look at that. So there's a little tiny burr on it, so we gotta be careful holding it, but look how thick this is. And then it doesn't have to be square, but I'm going to try to cut that square. And then something like so. Look at that. And now, same thing, I need to curve that way, so I'll come in from this side. Dawson's a big help here. I don't have it on a table. So his marker's here. And instead of a sharp edge, if you do a curve, the metal's less apt to rip, if you know what I mean. So probably if I waste a little and shortcut it, makes sense, kind of like if you're in a bandsaw. And then if I can straighten it around, don't know if I can hold it. Gotta really push on it. So now, I can't go this way, but I should be able to curve around that way, right? Maybe? We'll see. But I can't go down the highway and have my fender fall off. And I don't want to invest $400 in a set of new fenders on an old trailer when I need tires, you know? So what you, like I said, you want kind of a curve. You don't want a sharp edge because it'll crack under vibration there. So now we're going to take a grinder and just clean that up. And then let's see how she fits. I really wanted the nicer side this way, but it doesn't matter because this will clean right up. That's just surface. That's pretty thick. Let's see how bad we did here. What do you think of that, guys? Not too shabby. There's a little lump there, but I can grind that once it's on if I'm worried. But see up here, see where these go in? So they drop right down in there. So who's going to see it anyway? Nobody. So what I'm going to do next is grind that up so there's no sharp edge. Cut my fingers. We'll line this up. We'll drill, and then we got some pop rivets here. These were given to me, so this work out good. And they're perfect length for that. So we're gonna do pop rivets, 1/8 inch pop rivets. Pop, 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 pop. And then if I want it pretty, I could just put a bead of caulk and then paint. If I don't care, I don't care. But this is definitely gonna make it so I can go down the road a little better. And our bolt goes through both pieces here. And this isn't too bad. And the crack up here, I'm not gonna be too concerned about because it doesn't look structural, but this is pretty bad. Let's get this taken care of. Now this is, you know, a little bent here, so we're gonna have to suck that up to it, but I think we can, all right, or I'll get some vice grips. But what I want to worry about is this top edge. I don't want it sticking up like that. I want it down, out of the way. And I think that looks great, don't it? Mm-hmm. I think so. So anywhere I start would be fine. I got an 1/8 inch drill bit. Hopefully it's sharp enough. I'll go through two layers. To save my drill bit from cracking, I'll move this. Did it leave a mark? Yep. So I should have a center punch. See, that's a double layer. That's why I wanted a longer rivet. And these rivets, I believe, are 3/8 of an inch. So if I line that up, see how far apart that is? It's probably rush jacking, pushing it apart. That should help clamp that together, I hope. We'll do one at a time, and then might get a bar clamp, something to help me pull it in there. See if the hole size is good. And it's kind of tight, isn't it? Kind of tight. So let me wallow that out a little bit. Without breakage. And then see if I can get this thing out of here, yep. And then get that just a hair bigger. See if this is going to work. It's supposed to be a quick little project, right? Like they all are supposed to be quick little projects. So, look at the rivet fell down through. Let me look under here. Looks like it's going to work. Let me put her back in there. And I think this rivet gun works pretty good. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Waste in there. Now I can turn this anywhere I want it. But that's not ugly. And it's not a bolt. It's not something going to fall out. So I'm just going to go through and I'll probably put them about every 3 inches or something. And I'll show you what it looks like in a minute. The other hole here. Dawson wants to try one. Let's see the master at it. Press down, move your fingers back, and give it 1 or 2 squeezes. See how that clicked and drew? Did it just lift up? Did it cut it? Yep. Cool. And see how nice that drew it down? So like I said, if I didn't like it, I'd just put a little caulk right here, any color, and paint it. Don't matter. Don't get burned. So we're going to draw this down. This is going to add a lot of strength to this Fender. We're going to get out the Shockwave titanium Milwaukee's. I got a good deal on it. I did break one of these bits when I had a broke off bolt in the head or something, but these things cut pretty nice. Make sure you lube them. But we're going to jump up, instead of using an 1/8 inch and wallowing it out, we're going to use a 9/32, right?
9/64.
9/64, yeah, next size up. And this should be like through without wallowing the hole out. Pretty big Fender. And then we'll put another rivet in there. I probably ought to buy some rivets, but I usually want the longer shank thing on them. They're usually 2 clicks. Nice, huh? So now we're starting to look like a Fender again. And this is all stiff up here. We only got 3 in it. And then this, see, this still moves. So now I'm going to come down here and get one in this. And this will be all happy. walked a little bit. It's walking on me, so I gotta adjust here. Dawson's trying his expertise here. We know it's cracked down here, but we're gonna caulk this up. I don't much care, but this is gonna give it a lot of strength. And these are free rivets, so who cares? We'll put a bunch in there. And I think we got a can of spray paint open. So no money invested here, just a few minutes. It needs to be done. I gotta go travel, and it's gonna be some on the not the throughway, but the interstate, and I don't want this fender falling off. That'd be a disaster. So we don't want to get pulled over for something loose load. And then we're going to come up this edge, do a few, and down this edge, and we're done. So we're going to drill them out, but these titanium bits work a lot better. But that's pretty thick metal. We're going through, you know, 3 layers here, and then just 2 there. Reminds me that watch Wes work. I like he's pretty smart. So on YouTube, follow him. He has a video, I think came out yesterday, on sharpening drill bits. And I didn't get a chance to watch it, but all I think I have to do is dress the end of them, and these will be sharp a long time. He says he does everything on a grinder. Dawson's finishing these up. I just drilled them all. I think that's all we can do, because there's a little damage on this edge. No sense of pushing the metal back. And I'll go hunt up some caulk. Maybe I'll put paint on it first, but it's not going to rust out in the next couple of years on this metal, which is thicker than the other metal. So, it's working good, isn't it? Mm-hmm. What do you think of a rivet gun? This is the first time I used one. I remember 100 years ago, I did some body work, my brother and I, on a car. I can't even remember what. And we used pop rivets and sheet metal, and it's what everybody did, you know. Works. It's not welding it on there, but we'd have to sand this, grind it, and there's some Bondo in it already. I'm not going to monkey with that. We're just doing a quick one here. He's got 3 more to go, and we can try it. Maybe I can do 1 or 2 in the center, and it'll help too. Stiffen that up. That's the whole thing. We're going to stiffen this fender. Then I got to put a bracket out here. I don't have to, but I want to, and I might do it on both sides. Because when you go down the road, they shake around, don't they, D? Mm-hmm. Now he's a rivet man. I think I'll do 2 more in the center, and then we'll be done with this. So I have some seam sealer we used on the truck. Let me show you. Come over here. This is 2 years ago anyway now, right, Dean?
Yep.
At least. We put new rockers on the truck. And you see where everything went together, I used seam sealer, and I welded across here. I think a lot of people didn't do that, but see this? It's a full weld. I put a full one in here. I don't know if both doors are unlocked, but check this back out. Well worth doing. This is a home project, guys, right here. And then I used seam sealer and I painted it. It turned out pretty nice. But this is 2 years old. Let's see if it works. But you see the gap we got here? I want to fill that up a little, smooth it off. Then it won't look so terrible. The end unscrewed. And it's a little bit hard. Let's see if it works. We can fill some gaps, man. Oh yeah. Seam sealer's kind of expensive, but it works. Captain Kleeman used it on his dump truck build, and it worked pretty good. I'm pretty sure he used that. I'm going to smudge it around with my fingers and get it kind of smooth. So I'll show you what it looks like at the end. So I smudge it around, cover the rivet heads. It smooths out nice. This is 2 years old, so it's not awesome or anything, but good enough to paint over. And it's going to keep the salt and water out of it. And then I'm just going to slap some paint on there. Got a couple cracks up there too where the fender was abused with that lumber. And I'll fill that up. We'll paint it, throw it back on here. So we got some Project Source, so that must be Lowe's. Gloss. Yep, gloss black, so that'll look good. This dried about 30 minutes. Probably best if you wait overnight. I'm not gonna, I don't care. See if we get a little color on this. No, it's not gonna look awesome, but sure as beats what was there a minute ago. We're gonna get this covered up, and it's like new. And this definitely is gonna be stronger, not wobble. I was going down the road wobbling, It was shaking. I could see it out the mirror. I was like, oh man. And over here's a hole for my bracket. So I want to put a bracket back on there. And I think I want to do both sides of that. And so here it is. No budget here. We got no money in this. We got, I don't know, half hour, a little more right now. The seam sealer we already had open from 2 years ago. A little bit of black paint from something. And a little gloss black back on there. It's just a utility trailer, guys. It's just, I love it. Well, this is what we move the backhoe around on. That compact. It's not very big. This is 7,000 pound, 2 3,500 pound axles. And it works great. So let's swing this around, and Dawson will help me set this back on there. It's usually a one-man job. You just line up the pivot over there and slide it in. So see, I got the fender tilted up. You see this angle? It slides right on that pin, and then you lower it down. It's got them 3 hooks. So there's number 1, number 2, number 3, and she fits right down in there. See how nice that fender goes on? One person can do it, but when I first got this, they were in better shape. But this is a 2003, guys, so you know it's better than it was. So now what we have to do is right here is we have to drill a hole through it, and that's going to go through both pieces of metal and bolt that on. And then I got a bracket that I had on this. That's pretty heavy. See, that's 1/8 inch, but that vibrated enough and broke right off. So I got this one I might use. Might cut it, might find something else. I got other stuff, but I want to put something on both sides to go back to here, because this is what it does down the road. You know me and anti-seize. We're in the Rust Belt. You got to do something, and all manufacturers put things together dry. I want to be able to get this back off. So this is a bolt I added, and that holds that fender tight. It can slide out if it lifted up. So it probably won't unhook from the front because of those other brackets, but I tighten this thing right up because I want to go down the highway and not have a fender fall off. So I'm just going to tighten this up and we'll go to the back. See, I drilled and put a bolt in that. So now look at our fender right now. So much better. So I think if I do that diagonal, it's going to cure it. And we're going to do it on both sides. Over here, this has a plate and a light on it. See, this has some wiggle. But after a while, a lot of wiggle, you get the cracking going on. So I want to do a bracket on both sides. So I had a homeowner throw a bunch of these out, and I scarfed them. I like them. I wish they were in better condition, but they already have all the holes in them. And so I marked it, and I think if I do this and drill a hole in the side, we can hook it right on to where it was. All right, so that's as simple as I want it. And might want to grind that a little bit. But see, that's going to keep that fender. I just used the garage door bolts. That's what these are, the bracket bolts. And just took the grinder, cut our angles. That's close enough. Tighten this up, and should be in business. I think a cheap little fix with no money involved, you know. I'll put a little coat of paint on because it's kind of on the ugly side. And this is definitely going to keep this fender from rattling around. And show you what it looks like here in a minute. This is the other side, so we might better do both. It's not pretty, but that's not the object, remember. I'm just going to get a little color on there. Get a little more strength so neither side of these move. And how rugged that is. So you can still see the plate, the light's underneath it, that'll protect the light. And yeah, this ought to work good. So here we go, guys. Simple little bracket that I had. And then we just nipped it. We used the same bolts. I threw a little paint on there. Look at this thing now. That's pretty rugged. It's not going to fall off in there. Look at the back side. This is our repair. That's good enough. So I might put a couple more touches of paint, but I don't care. There's scratches everywhere on this thing. So just a simple little fix on this so we can get it on the road again. I probably could use some metallic, you know, this kind of tape on it, reflective tape, or might use that to tie something light on, but we'll see. Thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next one.